This week, our beautiful sun, the sun within us, our consciousness, the life, is activating gate 50 in the I Ching and Gene Keys. This frequency is activating a genetic codon within our DNA that is stimulating our consciousness field. The theme of the life this week, the transformational path of this frequency, moves from the shadow of corruption to the highest frequency of harmony, and it's via the path of equilibrium. This week is impactful as the sun is moving into an exact square with Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn for the last time in this lifetime, a remembering of who we truly are, an inner transformation. Let's look at the human design holographic body graph to better understand this frequency, this energy from within us, from within our body. So the sun this week enters gate 50, which is automatically activating gate 3, its programming partner. It's Earth, its exact opposite frequency in the sky. They work together. The best way to understand it, the Earth is the manifestation, what we see, and the sun is the illumination. So let's first start with gate 3, the Earth, because that's what we're going to see on the 3D physical realm. Gate 3 is located right here in the sacral center, which represents our vital life force, reproduction, sustainability, and sexuality. It's our body wisdom. At the shadow, it's chaos. This energy is about the process of letting change in through innovation. Gate 50 is located right here in the splenic awareness center, which represents our instincts, intuition, fears, and immune system. It's our primal instincts in the now. At the shadow, gate 50 is corruption. At the highest frequency, it's inner harmony. This energy teaches us that everything that happens is for our highest benefit. The 50th I Ching is a potential portal to the patterns of celestial harmony woven into all forms and all realms. At the shadow frequency, it's all about corruption. And I'm sure you're saying to yourself, I'm not corrupt. But corruption is one of these words we need to penetrate a little deeper. Think of corruption like a computer and its data, kind of like all the data in my hard drive was corrupted. So this is one of the inner meanings here. So we all incarnated with a virus built into the hardware. So the moment you began to grow in the womb, the virus began its work. It's woven into our DNA. It's our karmic legacy. We all come here with a collective karmic pattern, ancestral baggage, genetic patterns that corrupt the patterns of our true nature. The whole purpose of the life is to root out these corrupt programs from within and reboot the primary hard drive. That's the journey of awakening. If you have the 50th gene key in your energetic profile, then you may face corruption in the world. You may draw it into your aura. You might have grown up with it in your environment, or you may be deeply disturbed by it. The dilemma of the 50th shadow of corruption is passivity. If you look at the outer world, our government, our power structure, our culture, our society, our nutritional habits, our moral values, these are all the things that are connected to the 50th gene key. Wherever you look, wherever you dig just a little bit, you will find the root of this corruption. It's like a cosmic weed that is everywhere. It manifests on the outside because it's woven in from the inside, which means it can never be rooted out from the outside unless you first root it out from the inside. And that's what we need to get to harmony. And why is the dilemma passivity? It's because we don't believe we could do anything about it. Externally, most of us have quit, gone flat. We live flat lives, kind of like a flat tire with no pressure. No one else fights, so why should I? How can I do anything? Everyone else does it. We resign. That's the attitude of the 50th shadow. And it's the same thing on the inside. We may follow a teaching, a meditation, a prayer, but it hasn't really worked. We may have had an experience or two, but we're still deeply corrupted. The weed is still there. The 50th gene key is a pivotal frequency. In the wheel of life, it's a pivot point, a breakthrough point, and that's why at the gift, it's equilibrium. And why its program partner, gate 3, at the shadow is chaos. So corruption and chaos work together and come together at the shadow. Mystically, there's a way out, but it takes work, a lot of work, and you can't be passive and give up. Chaos wants you to give up. Corruption relies on you giving up. It knows that the odds are stacked up against you. There is a tipping point within each of us. How much do you really want this? It's kind of like these movies where the hero is surrounded by corrupt officials, by injustice. And he or she decides to take a stand. And then there's a huge battle between the weak and the strong, and finally overcome impossible odds. The victory, the finale. And this is the story of the 50th gene key. It's about impossible odds. The 50th gene key lives with impossible odds. You have to take a stand. Internally, you have to take a stand. You need to overcome the weight of your karma. You need to reach the tipping point. I know it takes deep courage. But the good news is, it's not impossible. That's just the view from the shadow. But that is why so many of us become passive, why we give up. But as soon as you take a stand to find out what awakening is, a great force becomes alive inside you. In the beginning, this great force will increase and decrease, but over time it will stabilize inside you. And then it becomes easier. You still need self-discipline, but self-discipline comes naturally. It flows from your core. Your longing calls it. And this is how we tackle corruption, slow and steady. It's our tendency to react to our shadow. See, we all have habits that undermine us, that create corruption in our aura. And we have to work away at them by identifying them one by one and then disabling them. And then we replace them with harmonic habits. It takes time. It's a learning process. It's a journey. The 50th gift, the way to alchemize the shadow and raise the vibration. Equilibrium. Equilibrium is about keeping your spirit up in the face of the shadow. You will find that one of the greatest gifts that this teaching will give you is the art of contemplation. Contemplation is the art of maintaining perfect equilibrium. The art of contemplation integrates two ancient paths, the path of Christ consciousness, the path of love, and the path of the Buddha, the path of wisdom. So balancing out both concentration and meditation. The path of love requires concentrated energy. You pour all your love, your longing, your prayer into your path. And everything you create is to reach higher consciousness. And the other way is the opposite, the path of wisdom. You simply watch all the patterns that come up with no effort whatsoever. Watch and accept everything as transcendent and unreliable. And over time, both paths lead to truth. But the path of contemplation is about threading a path in between these two paths. If you go too far in one direction, then you tense up, you give up, which brings you back to the center point. It's a powerful path. It takes time to master this path. You may find yourself forgetting and going to the extreme of either side, but the extreme hurts, so it brings you back to the center point, to the equilibrium. If you have the 50th gene key in your energetic profile, then you have this gift. Your genius has the ability to go to any environment that is dysfunctional and use your inner power, your aura, your gifts to recombine the elements and reunite them so harmony is once again possible. As you discover the gifts that equilibrium gives you, you become an agent of equilibrium in the world. You see this in nature. When natural systems come out of balance, they right themselves. It's written into their mechanism. But us humans can only do this when we find equilibrium on the inside. Then whatever we create on the outside reflects what we embody on the inside. You will be called upon to tackle corruption on one level or another, and it could be anything. It's not something that you will work out through the mind. You will just find yourself creating it. Nature will use you. In fact, whatever your job is, you can apply it right now as soon as you discover it on the inside. The 50th I Ching, line 1, was called by the ancients cosmic balance. It holds the life in balance. When we learn to trust in the truth inside us, when we learn to balance the path of love and wisdom, then we're on the central path, which is the path of truth. Let the music of life dance through you. Be playful, be love, be peace, be grace, be truth. The 50th city, the highest frequency, harmony. Equilibrium is the flowering, and harmony is the fruit. When the process of flowering into equilibrium is so deeply ingrained in our nature, then one day, in perfect timing, divine timing, the fruit drops. We find ourselves inhibiting the permanent state of inner harmony. As we learn to balance our emotions, as we learn to use our mind creatively, as we use our physical body wisely, so our DNA attunes us to a deeper harmony beyond the world that we can see, our inner world, our spiritual world, beyond the 5 senses. The higher you go, the more unified the field becomes, until you disappear into the whole. Every plant, every star, every creature, every blade of grass has a corresponding place within you. The entire cosmos is reflected within you. As above, so below. You become the ocean and the drop. You become everything and no thing. I'm Pyra this week to create space, get to higher awareness, notice your thoughts, feel all the sensations that come up in the body this week, and shine the light of awareness to any habits that undermine you, that corrupt your aura, that corrupt the whole, any reactions to the shadow, and feel it deeply. Be blessed.